Just close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again.
Just to see you once again. I know
winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you gotta do is call, and I'll be there.
Hey,
you got a friend.
Good to know. Tell me some more.
If the sky above you should turn dark and full of clouds, and that old north wind should begin to blow, just keep your head together and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking on your door.
Hey,
you just call out my name,
and you know wherever I am, I'll come running,
to see you again.
I just got to see you once again. I know
winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you've got to do is call, and I'll be there.
Hey,
ain't it good to know that you've got a friend?
Always.
People can be so cold.
Sometimes they'll hurt you
and desert you. They'll take your soul if you let them. Don't let them. If you call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running.
They sound really good. To see you once again.
Maybe to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall. All you've got to do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend, you've got a friend.
You got a friend.
You've got a friend.
You got a friend. I'll be there in a hurry. Don't you ever worry. You got a friend.
Got a friend.
You got a friend. Thank you for being a friend. One more.
You got a friend.
Good morning. My name is David Belzotti. I'm on your Board of Trustees, and welcome. And I think I can officially say happy summer. Yeah. For 2 weeks, anyway. The flowers today are in celebration of Reverend Jeanette and Gary Byington's marriage. You are invited to a reception in their honor in Friendship Hall after each service. Blessings to them and congratulations. Tomorrow is the summer Kid Pack at St. Joseph's Parish Center in New Hope. The address is in your bulletin. It starts at 7 p.m. and pack until done. It won't take long with lots of helping hands. The bags filled with nutritious food and snacks will go to District 281 summer school students. The men's group meets on Tuesday night at 6:30 in Friendship Hall. All men 18 over are welcome to attend. On Saturday, Reverend Phil Smedstead is holding a day-long workshop on personal transformation. Lots of info is on in the insert. And next week, we start our collection of backpacks and school supplies for the families served by PRISM. There are shopping lists in the garden court. Next week also starts Prosperity Month, and with that comes Keys to the Kingdom, a 7-week prosperity class led by Reverend Pat. You'll hear more about that later in the service, but if you are planning on attending, please sign up in the garden court so we can order materials. Please be sure to check your bulletins plus the garden court for more details on these and other activities coming up in July. While in the garden court, you can also sign up for our Peak of the Week, our electronic newsletter that goes out every Thursday. And now we invite you to take out your electronic devices. If you are on social media, check in and let people know that you are at Unity Minneapolis, and then silence the device and give yourself and others the gift of this sacred hour. We now begin our service with prayer led by Reverend Jeanette.
Please join me in prayer. Thank you, sweet Spirit. We thank you for all of your love every minute of every day. We thank you that you are with us in all things, in everything we say, do, and feel. We are so blessed. We are blessed for our spiritual community. We're blessed for our city, our nation, our country, everywhere. For our world, and we pray for those. Our friends, family, loved ones, and everyone on this planet. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Well, this is a great day.
Yes, it is.
Sunshiny day. So, the value for the month of June is loving. Very nice. We define loving as sharing genuine warmth, care, and affection in all actions. We demonstrate loving by actively expressing love through the sacred service and honoring and encouraging each person's unique spiritual journey through loving words and actions. So let us affirm our core values together. We are loving, transforming, welcoming, spirit-filled, prosperous, and joyful. And our vision, centered in spirit, we celebrate a world transformed by love, peace, and compassion. And our mission statement, we are a vibrant, inclusive, prosperous spiritual community, inspiring and empowering full expression of the divine within through prayer, education, and service. And I invite our on-duty prayer chaplains to please stand. These individuals arrived early today to hold sacred space for us, and they are here to support you in prayer for any joys, concerns, celebrations that you would like to pray about. They will listen with the ears of their heart and hold it in the strictest of confidence. So please, if you'd like to pray about anything, please seek one of them out, because I assure you it'll be a blessing for you as well as for them. So let's stand for our opening song, Witness.
Letting you know, I'm letting you lead, that I might follow, be your witness. may go, letting the power of your presence show the way. I'm letting it in, letting you know, I'm letting you lead, that I might follow, being a witness to your presence every day. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. This life is a witness to my rightful purpose, to all that I've come to be. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love for all of my life. Say that again. I will bear witness to your love. I will bear witness to your love. Yeah. I will bear witness to your love for all my life. For all my life.
That was great music, wasn't it? That was fabulous this morning. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. It's so great to have you here today. As you know, Unity is a positive path for spiritual living. And we do offer practical teachings here that help us to live meaningful and healthy and prosperous lives. We're also an open and welcoming, inclusive community. Therefore, one of my favorite things to do, our favorite things to do, each and every Sunday morning is to acknowledge our guest. So today, my dear friends, if you're with us for the first, second, or third time, this is not intended to embarrass you, but to honor you. If you're here for the first, second, or third time, take your courage in your hand and raise your hand as I raise my hand. Courage, 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 courage. We got courage out here. Courage. Keep your hands up, please. Keep your hands up, please, until our ushers get to you. Yes, keep your hands up, please, until our ushers get to you. That packet of information you're receiving tells you a lot about Unity Minneapolis. There's also a welcoming card there if you choose to fill out any part of that card and turn that into our book desk. We have a gift for you. The rose is a gift from our congregation so that we can easily recognize you and give you that very personal, one-on-one welcome. All of that's important. And yet I believe that one of the most important things that I say on this platform each and every Sunday morning is this. And that is, my dear friends, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, wherever that may be, you're welcome here. We welcome you, we bless you, we behold the living presence of the divine within you. Again, if you have not received our information, just keep your hands up until our ushers get to you. We have a lot of guests this morning. Isn't it wonderful? Let's appreciate them, okay? Of course, this is an inclusive crowd that loves to hug and smile and namaste and greet each other, and some people do several of them at one time. But we always ask before let's do it right now, okay? Funny.
Thanks.
This next song is a stand-up song. It is a rock and roll kind of song. I release and let go. And if you did not get a chance to speak to the people that you wanted to speak with, join us following today with this special reception that we have for Reverend Jeanette and Gary. So join us following today's service. Let's sing this together. I release and I let go. Let's sing it like we mean it, okay?
Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Sing it again. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for one more time. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
We now move deeper into spirit with the reading of the daily word and the singing of Inside. As the usher brings down the prayer box, you are invited to mentally add your prayers to the written requests in the box. After this service, the prayer box is located in the garden court where you may add your written requests. Your prayers are then prayed with by our prayer ministry for 7 days, and then they are forwarded to Silent Unity, where they are prayed with for an additional 30 days. The word for today is empowered. We affirm, I am empowered to bring my highest good into expression. The Gospel of John shares how the crippled man at the pool of Bethesda learned the words and rituals that could lead to his healing, even though he had not been able to achieve that goal. Jesus demonstrated that the true answer was much simpler. Stand up, take your mat, and walk. The faith demonstrated through the simple act of standing was all that was necessary to overcome the apparent limitations in which he had been living. I may have caused myself great confusion in the past because I believed the power necessary to live a spiritually centered life could be found outside myself. Today, I know that I am innately empowered to make the choices that will bring my highest good into expression. And Scripture tells us in Joshua 1, verse 9, be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened or dismayed, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. The word for today is empowered.
I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go
go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God.
Now let us join together in meditation. And if you feel comfortable doing so, gently close your eyes and allow yourself to center. Take a deep breath and relax into your seat. Focus on your breath, in and out, in and out. No place to go, nothing to do. In and out. Allowing each breath to guide you to your still, calm center. In and out. In and out. Each breath guiding you to your oneness with Spirit. And in this centered place, I ask you to listen to this poem by Reverend Claudel County. Detach and depend. No matter what we are right now or what we are doing, we can detach from it for a moment and depend on God. Presence fills us. No matter how hard the struggle or how hopeless life can seem, we can detach from it for a moment and depend on God. Light shows us a new way. No matter how low we may feel or how wrong we think we have been, we can detach from it for a moment and depend on God. Love. Love heals us. No matter how lost, how scared, or how angry we are, we can detach from it for a moment and depend on God. Peace lifts us. Life may seem so confusing, so complicated, so frustrating. Or life can be so joyous, so nurturing, so exciting. Gratitude can be our reality, and faith our guiding star. If we remember to detach and depend on God. Let us take these words with us into the silence.
Take a deep breath and affirm gratitude can be our reality and faith our guiding star if we remember to detach and depend on God. Another breath. Coming back into the room, back into this time and space. And one more deep breath. And when you are ready, open your eyes. Amen.
The grand earth quaked before, formed by the word of the Lord, and the seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken by just one word. And through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. And through it all, my eyes are on you. And it is well with me. Far be it from me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see. And this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into the midst of the seas. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. And through it all, my eyes are on you, and it is well. It is well. So let go, my soul, and trust in God. The waves and winds still know your name. Let go, my soul, and trust in God. The waves and winds still know your name.
who you say you are. Through it all, my eyes are on you. It is well with me.
That's right.
Thank you. So there were some Zen students attempting to practice detachment. And one Zen student said, my teacher is the best. He can go days without eating. The second one said, my teacher has so much self-control that he can go days without sleeping. And the third said, which had obviously been exposed to unity sometimes in his life, said, my teacher is so wise that he eats when he's hungry and sleeps when he's tired. Pete, I've missed you. So there we go. So 4 monks were also attempting to practice this, and they were meditating in a temple, when all of a sudden the prayer flag on the roof started flapping. And the youngest monk came out of his meditation and said, flag is flapping. And the second monk, more experienced, says, wind is flapping. And the third monk, who had been there for more than 20 years, said, mind is flapping. And the fourth monk, who was the eldest, says, mouths are flapping. We'll do better next time, Pete. So, this is the deal. You know, this month, we have been studying the Golden Key. We've been studying the Golden Key. And we gave out some literature on that, and my invitation to you was this month to truly practice this principle, this spiritual principle of detachment for the month for this month. And so many of you have said to me these things like, Reverend Pat, I'm going to golden key it, or I'm golden keying it. So I know that some of you out there are truly aware of this principle and the importance of this principle and using it in our life. Emmett Fox, who was probably one of the most fantastic metaphysicians, he's probably very well known also for his Sermon on the Mount, Metaphysical Interpretation. He lived, of course, from 1886 to 1951. But he wrote the Golden Key in 1931, and then he also did a special edition for Unity. He was certainly a friend of Unity, even though he had a mega organization in New York. He visited Unity every summer at Unity Village, and a close friend of Charles Fillmore, co-founder of our movement. But he visited, and he wrote a special edition for Unity in 1944. So the Golden Key is quite simple, right? Yeah, the Golden Key is quite simple. The Golden Key basically says, stop thinking about the difficulty, the situation, whatever it is, stop thinking about it and think about God instead. So when something comes up, a difficulty, we stop thinking about it and we think of God instead. Simple, right? Not easy necessarily, right? I can assure you it's not always been easy in my life. Now, also, Emmett Fox says for us to practice this spiritual principle in our life, that there's a couple of things we need to do. First, he says we have to have an open mind. We have an open mind about it and have a sufficient faith to try the experience, to try it. And then he says when we think about God, not necessarily to think about a picture of God, because whatever we think about God, God is always more than that, right? God is more than that. But he says, think about the attributes of God, the God as you understand God. Think about those things that God is, like God is love. God is wisdom. God is peace. And in unity, we don't teach that God has the love, that God has the peace, that God has the wisdom. God is the love. God is the peace. God is the wisdom. And the beautiful thing about that is, guess what? We are one with God. We are one with God. And because we are one with God, we can wake up in the morning and realize without a doubt that we have all the attributes of God. All the attributes of God. So we have within us the wisdom and the love and the peace within us. And so often, we can continually look outside of ourselves for those things. Look outside of ourselves for those validations. But he says, don't try to form a picture of God. Just think about those attributes of God. And then he goes on to say, and don't struggle. Don't struggle. Don't strive. Just gently stop thinking about the situation and think of God. Gently do it. And of course, we learn that not only can we use the golden key for ourselves, but we can use the golden key for those that are in our life. And therefore, I'm going to golden key it. I'm going to let go. And Reverend Jeanette expressed that so much in the second week, as she talked about love and the importance of love with a golden key. When we let go and we golden key a situation with someone, and we let go, it does not mean that we do not love them. We love them greatly. Also, Reverend Jeanette told us that when we are letting go, we are letting God do God's thing as well. We're making more room for infinite possibilities in our life. And of course, then she shocked the entire congregation as she announced her marriage, but that's another story. It was the perfect time to do it. What perfect time to do it other than love? And then on Father's Day, our beloved Mike Obsat, he talked about fatherly love and the importance of using that golden key with our fathers. I heard something this morning that really touched my heart. You know, I didn't necessarily, let's see if I can remember it out in the garden court. It was like, I didn't necessarily like everything my father did, but oh my goodness, the lessons that he taught me was awesome. And the lessons that he taught me was so awesome, not necessarily by his actions or his words, but one lesson he's taught me was, I love you, Dad, but I don't want to be like you. I love you, Dad, but I don't want to be you. And Michael, he shared us that the importance of respect and oneness consciousness. And he taught us to really called us to respect all of humankind, reminding us that we cannot respect humankind until we truly love and respect ourselves. But he also called us to a higher place, to especially respect women and girls in our life. And reminded us again of our oneness, not only with God, but our oneness with each other. And so today, we're going to talk a little bit about detach and depend. And I picked the lesson exactly from the poem that Eden, thank you for a beautiful meditation. We picked the lesson exactly from the poem that my colleague, Claudel County, had written. And as she went through that this morning, there were so many promises in this poem. I encourage you to go back and read it again. But there were so many promises if we detach and depend on God. If we let go of the situation and think about God. And the first promise in this poem was the promise of presence. It says, God fills us. The presence of God fills us. Now we know without a doubt, we teach it, we believe it, that the divine presence is totally within us. So it's not like that God's got to come out and I'm empty, God's got to fill it. But what happens is when I detach, I get to remember that that divine presence is within me, and I am aware of that presence. So that's the first promise in this poem, that the presence fills us when we detach and depend. And the second promise is guidance. We will receive guidance when we detach and depend. Clearly it says, light, capital L, light shows us the way. And we know that as we continue to detach and depend on God, that we are shown the way. We are shown the next step. We don't have to go out and look for the guru to tell us the next step. We don't have to go and look outside of ourselves because the guidance that we seek is totally within us. That's not to say don't use some people to help you down there, and I use a therapist too. Do you know what I mean? But the bottom line is this, that guidance is within me. And then, of course, the third thing promised in this poem was love. As we detach and depend, we get in touch with that love within us that heals us. The fourth was peace. We're given peace as we detach and depend on God. And then, of course, our faith is strengthened and we have gratitude as well. Many promises as we detach and depend on God. Detachment is one of the major keys of spiritual growth, especially when we are able to detach in love and depend on God and our higher power. You know, so often we think that detachment is detaching from those relationships that are not so good in our life. But also detachment is about detaching even from those relationships that are excellent in our life. Those relationships that are good, we also have to remember that we are all one. And that we, each and every one of us, has a focus in our life, a unique focus that we, and only me, and a purpose that only God has given me. And so I can, even in those beautiful relationships that we have, we can detach and respect that purpose and that goal that God has within those each and every individual. But also, see, detachment is not so much about detaching necessarily from the person. Detachment is about detaching from the drama, the involvement of the situation. Detachment is not something that we do once. Detachment is a daily behavior. It's a daily behavior in spiritual growth. And it's an opportunity for us to detach in all areas of our life. We have to detach that tight hold that so often we have in our relationships, those relationships so often that we want to control. And we have to detach with understanding and love. You know that poem, I don't have it with me, but I think of it often. I love you enough to let you go. That's detachment as well. And that's detaching in love. So it's important for us to get in touch with the importance of detachment and to detach the best to our ability in our relationships. And if we cannot detach completely, then at least we can hold on loosely. And detachment does not mean that we don't care. And many people believe that that's what it's about. We may believe that by controlling and worrying and trying to force things to happen, we are showing how much we care. And that worrying and controlling and forcing will somehow affect the outcome that we desire. Have you been there before? Yes. We could tell stories all morning, couldn't we? But we know without a doubt that it does not work. It does not work. In fact, it hurts the situation. And as we practice this principle of detachment, we slowly began to learn the truth. Is that detaching, preferably, and detaching with love is a relationship behavior that works. It means that we care about the individual, and it means that we care about ourselves. It frees us to make the best possible situation, the best possible decision in the situation. It allows us to set boundaries with people. It allows us to have our feelings, to stop reacting, and initiate a positive course of action. It encourages us by detaching to set boundaries that we need to set with ourselves and boundaries that we need to set with people. It allows our higher power to step in, or for us to become aware of that higher power and to co-create our life. When I detach with love, I am letting God and letting go. Most of us in a 12-step program know about let go and let God. Let go and let God. That's about detaching and depending on God. And when we do this, we're taking care of ourselves. In fact, I believe that it's one of the highest forms of self-care. And for us to detach is to get that realization. To get the realization and understanding that reacting and controlling just does not work. Reacting and controlling does not work. The next step after we realize this is to get peaceful and get centered to restore our balance. Do whatever we need to do to restore that balance. Take a walk. Leave the room. Call a friend. Take a long bath. Call on God. Breathe deeply. And it's from this place of peace and centering that we will be guided and a solution will come forth. Melody Beatty, who I dearly appreciate and have learned so much from her, and she's written a book, The Language of Letting Go. She's written many books. And she's probably the queen of codependency and the teacher of codependency. But she has something to say about children that I want to share with you. You know, I have so much experience with children. So I didn't think I could speak authentically to that. But I want to just share what she has to say about children. She says, "It is one thing to detach from our wife, our husband, and let them suffer the consequences. But what about our children? How can I do that with children? We do have responsibility for our children. We are responsible for providing for their material and physical needs. Our children need help, love, and guidance. And they need consistent enforcement of boundaries once we establish limits. They need supportive, nurturing environment in which to grow. They need help learning these values. We are not responsible for controlling our children." That does not work. Discipline and nurturing do, if combined. Shame and guilt interfere with our children's learning and parenting. We need to respond to our children in a responsible way and hold them accountable for their actions at an age-appropriate level. We need only to do our best. We can let our children have their own process of living. We can have our own process. And we can take care of ourselves during the process. Seek balance, seek wisdom, seek not to have control, but own our power as people who are parents. And what about adult children? What about adult children? Aren't they fabulous? And yet, at the same time, we are called also to let go. Parents, I applaud you. I cannot imagine raising a child. I believe that it is the most sacred work on the planet. It is sacred to mold, but also we have to look and see our own parenting style and see if we're repeating those things in our own parenting style as we parent our children. And then we need to let go of our adult children. Melody Beatty, in one of her books, tells the story that she got a phone call at like 3:30 in the morning, And this woman is on the other end of the phone, ranting and raving, and says, my daughter's not home. I don't know where she is. This is ridiculous. Where is she? Where she's lost. I don't know what's going on in her life. And Melody Beatty took a pause and said, how old is your daughter? She's 41. She's 41. Wow. As adult children, we let go. For adult children, we let go. And yet, it's without a doubt, I think it's one of the biggest challenges of parenting, of letting go. I stand there and I see parents, even in our bridging ceremony from one grade to the next, parents standing there with tears of joy in their face, or parents seeing a child get on a school bus as they go to school. And yet, that is what we are called to do. As Gibran reminds us so beautifully, our children come through us, but they do not belong to us. They have minds of their own, and we cannot even go there. Anyway, children. I've been thinking about children a lot this week. I have been thinking about children at our borders this week. Talk about practicing the golden key. I have used it. I have used it repeatedly. As I think about the situation and I get upset, I immediately begin to let that go and detach and turn to spirit. I encourage you to do the same thing. And as a result of that, I've been guided to do a few things. I've not been guided to go to the border. I'm clear about that. But I know a minister friend of mine that's at the border. God bless him. But you too will be guided on a unique, individual basis on what to do. And also, I want to remind you of our teaching. Regardless of the situation that we face in our life, God is always greater than the situation. Do you believe that God is always present? Yes. Do you believe that God is present everywhere? Yes. God is present at the border. And we individually will know exactly what to do and how to do it. And we do that by detaching and letting go. I want to share with you a closing story. Melody Beatty, again, in the language of letting go. I'll share this with you. But before I do, I just want to say, it's not just about detachment. We've talked a lot about detachment. But it's about detachment and depending on God. And sometimes it would really be scary for me to detach and depend on God of my childhood. So I believe it's important, again, for us to re-examine constantly that concept of God and to see what we are depending upon. I depend on a God of love, a God of wisdom, a God of light, a God that loves me unconditionally. Don't you? Yes. And that nothing I can do, think, say, or feel can separate me from the love of God. I am the one. I am the prodigal son that walks away, not God. Well, enough of that preaching. Okay, so depend on God. So this is the deal. Detachment, Melody Beatty writes, detachment doesn't come naturally for many of us, but once we realize the value of this recovery spiritual principle, we understand how vital detachment is. The following story illustrates how a woman came to understand detachment. The first time I practiced detachment was when I let go of my alcoholic husband. He had been drinking for 7 years since I'd married him. For that long, I had been denying his alcoholism and trying to make him stop drinking. I did outrageous things to make him stop drinking, to make him see the light, to make him realize how much he was hurting me. I really thought I was doing things right by trying to control him. One night, I saw things clearly. I realized that my attempts to control him would never solve the problem. I also saw that my life was unmanageable. I couldn't make him do anything he did not want to do. I want to repeat that again. I cannot make him do anything he does not want to do. His alcoholism and his controlling behavior, me, even though his alcoholism and controlling me, his alcoholism was controlling me, even though I wasn't drinking. And see, when we put all of that energy into someone else's behavior, regardless of what it is, that behavior is controlling me. I'm letting that person, situation, live rent-free in my head constantly. To set him free, to do so, I set him free to do as he chose. The truth is, he did as he pleased anyway. Things changed the night I detached. He could feel it, and so could I. When I set him free, I set myself free. I set myself free to live my own life. I've had to practice this principle of detachment many times since then. I've had to detach from unhealthy people and healthy people. It never fails. Detachment works. Detachment is a gift. It will be given to us when we're ready for it, when we set the other person free. We are set free. And today, the affirmation from Melody Beatty is, today, wherever possible, I will detach in love. Today, wherever possible, I will detach in love. Together, today, wherever possible, I will detach in love. So, your assignment is to look at the principle of detachment. Start beginning to use it in your life. You will get to repeat it over and over again. You will mess it up over and over again. But it's about having the faith and the courage, the faith and the courage and the trust in the God of your understanding to do it. And to know that as you set someone else free, you set yourself free. I love you. I bless you. I behold the living presence of God within you, and I set you free. And so it is. Amen.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. They're always reaching out in vain, just trying to take things not worth having. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on that side when you check it out. Oh, say your style of life's a drag, you must go other places, but just don't get to feel too bad when you get wooed by smiling faces. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on that side when you check it out. When you get off your trick, don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. 'cause I'll be standing on that side when you check it out. You get off your trip. Everybody needs a change, a chance to check out the new. You're the only one to see the changes you take yourself through. Don't you worry about a thing. Come on, come on. Don't you worry about a thing. 'Cause I'll be standing on that side when you check it out. Don't you worry about a thing. Do it again. Don't you worry about a thing. One more. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing.
Thank you, thank you. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forth as we prepare to receive our tithes and our gifts and our offerings. And we certainly welcome those that are streaming today, and we invite you to make a gift to Unity Minneapolis as well, and you can do so on our secured website. So let's just take a moment and center ourselves again in this one presence, in this one power, God the good. Take that deep breath and let go. I'll affirm our church offertory blessing once, then ask you to affirm it with me, then silently. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Together, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. And silently. Thank you, God. Amen. So let us center ourselves again as we bless these gifts, understanding that spiritual law of blessing, those things that we bless, they increase in our life. So we bless these gifts, all the gifts that's been received in the mail this week. We bless those participating in our consistent giving program, our unexpected income program. We bless all of these gifts as we send them forth to fulfill our vision and mission of a transformed world. A transformed world. And we say, thank you, God. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Laura Dockin. July the 11th, Wednesday night, 7 p.m., I begin a class called Keys to the Kingdom. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. Many of you have taken this class. Many of you have taken it more than once. It's the first class I've facilitated this year because of various circumstances. But needless to say, I'm excited about doing it. And we have a graduate of that class who would like to speak. I've invited to speak just for a moment or two about it. So Michael Showalter is a wonderful graduate of that class.
Thank you, Reverend Pat. Thank you, sir. You know, I just love my home office. When I go in it, I love the vibe of it. In it, I keep things that remind me the memories of a journey of a lifetime, from just a humble kid, high school graduate struggling to make a living sorting paper, to all the things that have marked my life. In it are charts of ocean waters I've sailed, are awards, recognitions, industry, professional awards of things I've been able to achieve. A flag of the U.S. Capitol that was flown for some work done there, a picture of a meeting with the Prime Minister of Great Britain, a diploma, a master's degree of my wife's accomplishment at a master's diploma, and a framed copy of my diploma of graduating Keys to the Kingdom.
Yes.
It is that important to me. I keep with me the vision, my vision that I did as part of the Keys work. I keep it with me every day. I keep it in my backpack. I keep with it, the circulation is the fourth key. It led me to volunteer here and to offer my service to the Board of Trustees. I keep with me a spiritual journal every day, and on the back cover are the 7 keys to the kingdom. Keys to the Kingdom is just an extremely important concept and class for me. It's very practical, 7 keys. I can get my brain around it. The impact, it has changed me. Forgiveness work has led to peace in my life that I'd never known possible. Relationships have changed by living life from the inside out. Literally changing myself has changed relationships. The other person did nothing as far as I can tell, but they seem to be entirely different. I'm giving now. I'm sharing the abundance I've been able to enjoy. I'm very grateful for my life, and I've been in and out of the flow. I've been in the flow of abundance, and I've been out. And I understand what being out is. It's turbulent, it's struggle, it's pain, it's illness, it's friction. And the Keys to the Kingdom, you know, this wonderful insert that's in here says a new way of living that will keep you in the flow of abundance. Staying in the flow of your life can be taught, it can be learned, it can be practiced. There are tools that allow that to happen. You can do it, and it is wonderful to live there consciously and purposefully. So, I love Keys. I love Reverend Pat. I invite you to join us. Check us out starting on July 11th. Thank you.
And the sign-up sheets are out there, information about it. Comment on it. Michael, thank you. Thank you. Next month, we begin a brand new series. It's Prosperity Month here at Unity, and we're talking about living in the flow. Living in the flow. And I picked that title because I visualize it's summertime, and the living is easy. Summertime. Can't you just see this stream going down, and you're a child, and you're on that big old inner tube out there, and just living in the flow? Oh, yes, Laurie. Yes, Laurie, just living in the flow of life. And that's what you refer to. And so not only will we be addressing living in the flow here on Sunday morning, each and every Sunday morning, but we'll be also doing it in our classes, especially Keys to the Kingdom. Reverend Jeanette, we love you. We're so proud of your marriage, and we'll celebrate you, and you will greet her in Friendship Hall today as you get cake and other wonderful things. Let's bring our children in, okay? Let's stand and bring our children in.
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light of God. In the light, in the light, in the light, in the light, in
morning. It is a summer of mindfulness and youth and family ministry, and I just wanted you all to know we have some resources in the bookstore. This is a book called, if I can find my cover, I Am Peace, a book of mindfulness. Great for kids, but as always, everything up in youth and family ministry works for all ages. There are times when I worry about what might happen next and what happened before. The thoughts in my head are like rushing water, and I feel like a boat with no anchor, being carried away. And she's being carried away and also dumped out of the boat. Ever felt that way? I give myself a moment, I take a breath. We're saying breathe first, and then I tell myself, it's all right. I can taste and smell and touch and hear and see what is all around me. I use my senses. I can feel my breath fill my whole body, and I tune into me. Now the water is still, and I've found my anchor, and everything is all right. I don't need to worry about before or after. I'm in this moment, and I am peace. Good stuff in the bookstore and happening upstairs. Thanks.
And our youth and family ministry's entire summer is about a summer of mindfulness, about being centered and still in mindfulness. And I hope that's part of it. Yes, it is, isn't it? And so let us know. So I'm off the chart here. So I got to notice these wings. Have you noticed these wings here? They are beautiful wings. They are beautiful wings. Did you know it? So I want to thank our adult volunteers up here real quick. Okay, I want to thank that. Yes. Yes, I wish I had that energy right now. So we know that together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, and all is swell, speak to at least 3 people before you leave the sanctuary, our peace song.
Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as our creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Now peace begins with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. With gaze and moment and take each moment in peace eternally. Now there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. And now you go into it. I am not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say. We don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of my scars. Run away, they say. No one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us. Oh, we are glorious. When the darkest words, when the sharpest words wanna cut me down, I'm gonna send a flood, I'm gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, Yeah, man. Yeah, why not?